Underground stuff. Today's episode is about a broken door handle on a BMW Z3 2.8 liter 1997. Uh, the just for reference, when you're talking about left or right on a BMW, you stand in front of the car and then right is right and left is left. So what I'm talking about is a broken right side interior door handle, which looks like this. Up here in this slot holds the mirror adjustment control buttons. Okay. In my particular case, this set in like this or whatever, and it broke right here. This is where it broke. Okay. And so when you pull, which is, all right, looking at this, you can see down here at the bottom that two screws come in from the interior panel and screw into this bottom. But at the top, and you can see this one hole here, which I have my finger in, one screw goes in through here, into the interior panel. Two screws from the underside of the panel. These have to be screwed in from, you have to take the door panel off, put two screws in that way, and at the top it is only one, and it goes through here. Now, what I did is I did in fact buy another handle, and here it is. This is a full replacement handle. These are crazy. If you try to buy one new from BMW, it's like $900 for this plastic. And even used, parted out pieces can be very expensive. Now I got this one, I think $50, and that was as cheap as I could find. But it looks really good. It matches mine, and you have to find a handle that is either leather covered or the color of your interior. This is plain vanilla black, and it looks really good. I did buy this, but then when I ascertained and realized I had to take that interior panel completely off to put these two screws through the back, I got to looking at where it broke up here, and it was on this piece right here. It broke along this line. Turn it this way. It broke along this line right here, and it is very thin. If you look inside, it's a very thin box in here. All right, so before I decided to take that panel off and put this in, I decided to see if I could glue it. Now, I've had success in the past using JB Weld's, I think it's called structural. Unfortunately, I cut the top off of the panel, but it looks like this. It comes in two different, it's got a syringe with two different chemicals in it. And yeah, you can see the syringe. And this plastic tray serves as a mixing bowl right up here. And it comes with a little stick over here, which you can see right here. Okay, so I used some of this stuff. I had successful gluing hard plastic before using this stuff, so I thought I would give it a try. So I unscrewed the one bolt at the top. It went through this hole. I unscrewed that. That let me take this broken piece completely out. Now there is a cable and a connector and a switch up in here. But if you simply put something underneath of that switch, it will come prise right back out. It's just sort of pressed in there, and the pigtail on the socket is long enough to bring it out to the front and get that switch off. And then you can use a screwdriver to go straight to the door to take this screw out, and that lets you take off the broken piece. Okay, that's what I did. Now, I mixed up some of this weld, this black plastic weld material, and mixed up quite a bit of it. And I coated the broken piece, the edge of the broken piece, real well. I coated it with that plastic glue. And then, because I had not undone the bottom, this was sticking out enough for me to put my fingers in and align the broken piece with the rest of the handle. I aligned it right in here where it had broken. Side view. I aligned it where it had broken along here, and held it in place for a minute or two just with my hands, and it didn't move, and it made it up just perfect. And then I wound up putting a cable strap on it, and this one you can see there's the hole in the inner panel where that bolt went, and you can see here is the connector that stays inside the door, and I have taken out the button assembly, but I used a cable tie, and I went around right where the screw hole was and cable tightened it, not super tight, but tight enough. And I left it for 24 hours. Now, that is what the Weld plastic stuff says to do, that it'll harden within an hour or something, but leave it if you're going to use it in a tensile mode, and that is meaning you're going to pull it, leave it for 24 hours. And it has a rated tensile strength of, I think, 3,000 pounds or something. It is really good glue. I have been very successful with plastic, and it says plastic structural somewhere on here. Your structural plastic adhesive. Okay, so I put the cable tie, left 24 hours. I took the bolt that I had taken out, I lined the handle up in there. I brought the connector out, fished the connector through here. I lined it up, and I used a screwdriver, and it was a Torx to tighten that bolt back in there, and it tightened up good and tight. It really did. Then I took the switch, oriented it correctly, I connected it to the connector that was hanging out of the door, and simply pops that switch back into place. And then I had my wife come out, it's her car. I had her do the genuine Priscilla yank on something. And I had her grab it up here and pull it several times, and it did not come loose. I think it's fixed. Now, it seems odd to me, but I understand. They put 2 screws down here, which is fine and dandy, through the interior panel. But where do most people grab it? This sits in the armrest for the driver's side, the right side of the car. But most people are going to put the hand fits right in here. Now, where is most of the pull going to be? It's going to be at the top. So if it's going to break anywhere, it's going to break right up here. And they only had 1 screw going through, and it is very thin here. It is very thin right here, and especially where that screw is. It is very, very thin plastic there. So if it's going to break anywhere, it's going to break up here. And they only had 1 screw holding it, and it broke along this, where the screw was. So maybe it'll work for you. I was really surprised when it broke. I got to looking at it and realized I had to literally just buy a replacement. $900 from Germany. Now I have there are plenty of ones that have been 3D printed. Those are available and not very expensive, but they tell you in advance that you can see the printing lines on the handle. Now this one I'm going to keep in case I ever need it, but this is for the right side of the car, and in my case, since I'm in America, it's the driver's side. Okay, you have to make sure you get the right one. BMW's format on left and right, you stand in front of the car, the right is on the right side, the left is on the left side. Now some of these were advertised on eBay and they didn't have the correct orientation. They had what literally is a left side and they had labeled it as a right side because they didn't know the standard. They were thinking, okay, from inside of the car, the passenger side would be the right side. No, get it right. You stand in front of the car, and that is left and right. So that's true for any parts inside the BMW. You stand in your front, the right side is the right side, and the left is the left side, and that's the part you order for the right side or the left side. All right. Hopefully this will help. You do not have to get a whole new handle for $900 from Germany. Since my wife is the only one that drives the car, the right side or the driver's side handle is one that took all the abuse. She very seldom has it. That's enough of this. Hopefully it helps. The glue is going to work. I have been successful using it. You do not have to do a replace unless something, I don't care how it breaks up here, I think you'll be able to glue it back in place. Just be patient with it and give it a long time to set and dry. That's enough for now. This is Uncle Ron and stuff. This had to do with a BMW Z3 1997, which is almost 30 years old now. Broken right side, or in my case, driver's side door handle or door pull or whatever they want to call it on the inside. Today is the 8th of April 2026.